Welcome back to Seablock and TSM Factorio episode number 11. Okay, I have to admit I have done a tiny bit off screen, not a lot, not anything to get upset about. I haven't actually built anything new per se. I've just fixed power. So what I've done is I've added a couple of extra ones of these running the Formula 2. I've inserted some yellow belt here, which looks like it's really fast when you're running at 4 times speed. Just this section, so just these ones have a slightly faster belt to be able to unload onto. And I've added a few more machines here. I'm not actually storing blocks anywhere, but yeah, and you can see it's all banked up massively. There's plenty of carbon dioxide. I think there's also well, this side is sort of shut off because it wants to burn any mineralized water from down south, but up here we have 100 of 100 mineralized water, so it's not a problem. Just give me a sec. About those noises. Just tangled up my headphones. Never mind. Okay, so that's one thing I've done. That's fixed power. Another thing I did was I have finally run some carbon off the line here up through the lead, the tin, the copper, and to where, well, I also moved the iron. I don't think I'd done that either. So where the iron is, so iron is coming out here. I also changed this so that it actually forces 50% of the copper to go through to this machine over here that makes the microcircuits. Although this actually needs you get 10 microcircuits from 1 copper, but you need 10 microcircuits over here. You need 1 tinned copper wire. No, you need 2 tinned copper wire, 1 tinned copper wire. You need 2 copper cables, which is 1 copper plate. So 1 copper plate. Too much math. The long and the short of it is one side of this seems to be not getting full particularly well because of the lack of copper. So we're back to desperately needing to increase our materials because this just won't do at all. I guess we must be using more copper. How was that not enough to... because it has to get up to 10. Alright, and then that makes 5 tinned copper wire, and gee, yeah, we're using a lot more copper down here, so this is not a fair thing at all. To such a point that I might even rip it all up and change how it works. Basic transport belt. Okay. At the moment, that is a 50-50. Yeah, I know, machine. You can go here for now. So, quick, give me one of these. I want you to go in there. So this way, 50, 3/4 goes straight to copper, 1/4 up there. That might work a little bit better. We are getting some science done. Anyway, that's not the point of our evening here. What we want to do is we want to get more copper, and I'm actually thinking that maybe we have now overdone the conversion that we did with this device. I mean, this is more efficient than what we were getting before, because if we have a look at let's say iron plate, for example, you can get that from the crushed sapphirite, but it's 3:2, so you're getting 2/3 from the crushed sapphirite. Now, if instead the crushed sapphirite is going to be that's an interesting recipe, but it's not the one we're looking at just yet. If the crushed sapphirite just gets sorted from 4 instead of getting 2, no, sorry, from 3 instead of getting 2, from 4 you get 3 ores. Then from the ore, you can either get 3 iron plate, or you can go through the whole process where we make iron ingots, and from iron ingots you make molten iron, and from molten iron you make iron plate, and it's 1-for-1. But you need all of this to do that. So we could do that with the iron and give back the 1 iron that we take out. So it would be getting 4/3 instead of sorry, it would be getting 3/4 of the number of crushed ore would be turned into plate instead of 2/3 by building all of this. But the other alternative, we're not using coolant at this time. The other alternative is to use a different recipe, not that one. That's interesting. That's very interesting, since we're making silicon and we don't need the silicon. We can actually double our iron if we used silicon ingots. Wow, I didn't even realize that. Okay, is there something similar for copper? Let's get out of here. How many backs do you have to go before you get out? Copper, if we have a look at copper plate, we want to go ingots. No, we don't have any other recipe, or do we? Processed copper and oxygen, which we don't have yet. Advanced copper smelting too. Maybe we want to see if we can get advanced copper smelting. Advanced bronze smelting, advanced manganese smelting. There's advanced copper smelting. Doesn't actually appear to be there. That's disappointing. Advanced bronze. Advanced cobalt. Steel smelting. We're a long way from silver smelting. What's that one? Advanced copper smelting. What do we need to get to that? We need ore processing 1 and strand casting. Okay. Strand casting. Let's add those into the list. We're not exactly doing tech particularly fast, but that would be worth having. And then we could put advanced copper smelting in. It's probably worth doing. So certainly the upshot of that is we could lend copper a little bit more and make it happen a little bit faster. but we need to build all of this, which was quite a lot of steel, although I actually have a ton of steel on me, so that's not a big problem. This idea of using silicon for something rather than just having it a mass here is another idea that kind of appeals. So we'd have to get silicon ingots, I think. Silicon ingot. Silicon ore and carbon. And we can't do this one. But silicon ore plus carbon makes silicon ingots, and then that doubles our iron output. That sounds good to me. The other thing, of course, that we want to do is basically double this up as well. We're about to get more product. I understand they've got a way of making this quite important to you now, which might have something to do with modules, but I'm not 100% sure of the details, so we'll get to that when we get to it. In the meantime, let's see about building, say, so that would be a blast furnace, I assume, that last recipe. Blast furnace, yes. Okay. So we want a couple more blast furnaces, and for that we need a lot of stone brick and probably a fair bit of iron as well. We are making the stone brick over somewhere. Stone brick. Here we go. Stone brick. We have a fairly large supply of stone brick there. We also have lots of stone, so if we wanted to, we could probably increase the ratio. Maybe it's worth doing it. I'm not sure. How much fuel do you have? 36. That looks like a lot. Probably don't need that so much anymore, given that this is auto-fed. Okay, so blast furnaces, we want 2, I think, for our plan. 1, 2. So if we were to use that formula, iron plate, we would be going down this path. Down that path. Oh, we can't actually do that one. Advanced iron smelting 2. Alright, well we can't do the silicon part of it yet, but we can do the we can still do the smelting, and we can still pass back. That means we're going to need a sorting machine. I forget all of these. So yes, let's get a sorting machine. Which is going to end up going about here. And we are going to need to do that. Power this guy up here. So look at all these things. Cupric ore. Copper and tin ore gives you cupric ore, which gives you crushed cupric ore. Oh, gives you crushed cupric ore. Copper and tin. And what do you use that for? I should actually do this sort of thing offline instead of in your time, but is it a capital C? Okay, crushed. Crushed cupric ore. Okay. Oh, okay, we need a whole bunch of things to get to crushed cupric ore. Usage is to make copper and tin ore. Or some other stuff. So yeah, that's not what we want to do. What other formulas do we have? We've got ferrous ore, iron ore, and manganese ore. Don't know how you get manganese ore. We're already doing the crushed bobmonium and rubite. We don't have crantinium yet. This is not steratite. It's not gibbolite either. That's another way to get iron. So that is the one we are going to go for. Crushed sapphirite. Let's get a few of those. And our output is iron ore plus some copper ore. We're going to have fun routing all of this, but okay. Now, I know, I'm pretty sure we use an induction furnace on our basic recipe. Let's just get back to iron. Iron plate, molten, not that one, because we can't do it yet. This one here, so this is something we could look at. 8 processed iron. What does processed iron take? So it's like 16 iron ore. Advanced iron smelting 2. There you go. We'll have to look into that further, but so 2 iron ore to 1 processed ore. And it's like a 50% boost in productivity by investing with charcoal. Anyway, that's a again getting sidetracked. So iron ingots made in induction furnace becomes molten ore. So you need a blast furnace first of all, then you need an induction furnace, and then you need a casting machine. We need those 3. And it looks like we're making steel gears and things, so the induction furnace is very similar to what we were doing with the other product. We can set a formula quickly to molten iron and the casting machine. That's the washing plant. There's a casting machine. And pipe. And you're making iron plates. All is fine there for now. Whoops, what are you doing? Right, we do need your carbon, but not there. And what are you? Oh, you're adding iron. You're adding iron ore. No. Don't need you. Now it gets a little bit tricky. I might need filter inserters. Need some power. Basic transport belt, okay. This is not going to work, is it? I'm missing something. We don't go straight from the sorter to that. We need to go to induction furnace, blast furnace. We need to go to the blast furnace first. The blast furnace needs fuel and it needs a recipe. Then we have the induction furnace. Like so. More pipe. You need fuel. You also need what's the problem? You're not unloading into here because this has slag and iron ore and copper. Oh, it's got copper on that line because it didn't have something better to do. Now this has to get to up there. Actually, where that was probably fine. And we're out of belt again. So that will be the supply of fuel. Yep. Now, this one also has copper that we have to get rid of. This is not going anywhere useful. You need that, you need that. Right, that's no good. I'll have to change how this works. Insert a splitter around the other way. You can be slag, which is not on that one. There it is there. Slag. Slag goes... Gee. Slag goes over here somehow. One, two, three, no. There's no chance of reaching across that. It's in there, isn't it? Non-slag goes there. Okay. Slag. Just can always jump some of these things. Let's get another few of these. There's no reason why this that needed to be stored up here. In fact, this isn't even on at the moment. Let's return the power to there. Slag. What's the matter? That was around the wrong way, that's what the matter was. Okay. You can, instead of doing that, you can put it if we ever use you again, and in fact we probably need you in a completely different spot now, so it may not even make any sense. We don't even need the input that was there. Easy. In the end, quite easy. Okay. So, you need that. We also need to make sure this is actually connected. We want the benefit of this, even if we are doing well. You've got... oh, because there are no... You don't have a formula at the moment. Molten iron. That's not fun. Well, you know what? We can always have yet another splitter. And this one can have filter. We want the iron ore. Other side. And iron ore. Goes like that. So if any iron ore comes through here accidentally, it goes back around anyway. So now we should be getting about 50% more copper. We certainly seem to be getting quite a lot of iron, which is good. I've been dumping my brown algae in here to get rid of it, which I will continue to do. Gonna have to leave it alone soon so the brown algae can get burnt from here. We are getting through things, which is good. Do we really need this tech? What does it do? Chemical plant, no idea. I do want that one. And I think we said we wanted the next level of iron smelting. That's advanced steel smelting, advanced chrome. Maybe it's hidden behind something as well. Advanced iron. Same things, so we can get that after we've gotten that one. Let's get it. It should help. I should probably lock this off. Now, the best way to increase our throughput at this point is to have this ore crushing continuously, which essentially means that this thing needs a little bit more mineralized water to run continuously. Which we could actually do this too. And yes, of course, we need another one of those. Do I have any more blocks so that I can build these guys? Wood bricks. It doesn't actually appear so, but I could start building some of these. Oh, and I've got some science on me. And some materials for making science. None of that are particularly desired. Okay, so this simply is not unloading fast enough, even still. You are an ore crusher. Not the... We're using electric power. Let's just check how power is doing. Easily under control. It looks like we're only effectively using 1, 2, 3. We're using 3 of these. Does this mean that I should have another ore crusher, perhaps? We could try it. Ore crusher. Would have to go here. Then I can't power this up. Maybe I can move that. No, that doesn't help. think we actually do need those better poles that I was looking at. Let's get some. That will power up all of that. That will power up all of that. That's exactly what I needed. Now, how's this going? It's not quite continuous, but it's very close to it. How are you going? That's pretty good now. But neither of these machines are fully taxed. This is actually starting to bank up, which helps a little bit, because when this starts going through here a little bit more, that is good things for us, because that means science will be going more continuously. But it's obviously still not nearly enough. I mean, there really is only one answer. It's a very simple answer. We may have to move where we put these things rather than all this direct insert, but well, what it boils down to is... Oh, the tech's gone. This will help these machines maximize their performance a little bit better. We need to basically double up on these things. If it takes all of these machines to fill like 2 ore crushers into 2 liquefiers, so 4 ore crushers, and our turnaround is 2-second craft time. Really isn't that fast if we're getting only 1% of these ores. I wonder if there's a better way of doing these sapphirite ore. If we've opened up anything better yet. No, those are just crystals. Crushed steratite, crushed vault, steratite, sapphirite ore. There's a mineral sludge option from a crystallizer. There's the mineralized water option, which is what we're doing at the moment. That you can control what you're getting. This isn't an option. Mineral sludge to sapphirite. Basically the same thing we've been doing. For these other ores. Is that more efficient is what the real question is, isn't it? You get in 4 seconds 50 mineral sludge. Just 2 sapphirite ore. This one is 2 seconds to get slightly better than a half chance of 2 sapphirite ore and 1 stereotype ore. But is the requirements of the slag cheaper here? $5 slag for 50 slag slurry. 25 gave you 2, I think. Here, the recipe is 1 slag to 2 crushed stone, 10 crushed stone to 100 mineralized water, so that's 5 slag to 100 mineralized water, 5 slag. So it's 10 slag gives you 1.8 ore. 10 slag gives you 1.8 ore. Or 5 slag is 50 slag slurry. I think this process here is actually slightly better than this one. I might take some time off camera to check my numbers, but if that's the case, we will move wholesale over to this. But I do have one slight concern, and that is I actually, instead of just loading directly, I've been putting this into a box because the amount of sulfur that we've got from this process is building up rapidly, and I'm not actually sure what we're going to do with all the sulfur. We're certainly not needing to run this primer anymore. What uses do we have for sulfur? Sulfur dioxide gas, which we make sulfuric acid from. That's all at the moment. Explosives later on, which aren't that useful. Sulfur dioxide gas we can use in pulping liqueur, which I saw for something else as well. Acid puffing. So it's basically just sulfuric acid. There's a lot of things you use sulfuric acid for, though. We can either go the crushed stone route, which we probably don't want to do because we need the crushed stone to expand, or the slag route to make slag slurry. That's not a near-term thing. It's needed in batteries, integrated circuits, CPUs, processing units, crystal slurry. It's used in a lot of things. Alright, let's leave it there. We might need a... I think we're probably going to stick to this sort of more advanced smelting that we've got now, but I suspect we are going to be ripping this lot out and actually, do you rip it out? No, instead of doing this thing where you convert 1 slag to 2 crushed stone, 1 slag to 2 crushed stone. So 5 slag to 100 mineralized water, and then going into this to, yeah, so much material needing to go in there to make this work. And it's really not that fast. So instead of this and this and this and this and this, and, well, we still need some for that stuff, but instead of all of that, it will just be slag into a filtration unit into crystallizers for each of the products. I assume this can work fairly quickly. 4 seconds. 4 seconds makes 50 slag slurry. And that's 2. So it's 1 a second. This one is 2 seconds to make 1.8, so that's 0.9 a second. So it's slightly faster as well. But you need to spend charcoal. Still better. Still need these things making the slag though. I don't think we've got any other source of slag other than the processors spitting some extra out. How much landfill do we have? We have a lot. Okay. Next episode, major expansion time. We move to this, and we just have to bump copper in particular up by a lot. Have we already... Oh, it looks like our science may have actually started going slightly faster. Yes, this is full. So the entire benefit of that is going to science. This is dreaming, isn't it? Thinking we could actually run more than one machine. But yeah, sorry, I've run up to the time that I guess I wanted to go to. I think we now have a plan. It seems to be a very small change. Well, very small benefit to do a major structural change, but I guess that's the way of Angel Bobs and Seablock in general. But thanks for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye bye for now.